At the far north of Japan are a group of islands that have created dispute for over 80 years. This dispute is the reason why Japan and Russia have not been able to sign a full peace treaty settling all the issues post-World War II. Russia controls these islands, but Japan says they are for Japan. Japan calls them the Kunashiri, Iturofu, Abomai, and Shikotan, but Russia uses a similar but different name and considers them to be part of a group of islands known as the Kuril Islands. So the question is, how did this happen? In 1855, Russia and Japan agreed on a border treaty. The border was on the Japanese side. Then comes World War II. In 1945, when Japan was getting ready to surrender in the war, the Soviets entered the war against Japan. The Soviet soldiers quickly moved through the Kuril chain and seized these 4 islands. They drove out all the Japanese civilians which were on these islands, and since then, these islands have been occupied by Soviet citizens and controlled by Russia. Then comes the legal argument. In 1951, Japan signed the San Francisco Peace Treaty, giving up its claims on the Kuril Islands. Russia says it included these 4 islands. Japan says no, it didn't. Japan's argument is that these islands were already Japanese before Japan signed the treaty giving up its claims on these islands. We gave up the Kuril, but not these 4. But Russia's position is that the World War II settled the issue and these islands are Russian territory.
In 1956, a compromise position was nearly reached. The Soviets offered to offer Japan the 2 smaller islands, Shikotan and Habumai, but Japan also wanted the other 2 bigger islands, Kunashiri and Itorofu. But no agreement was reached. Years later, former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe tried to improve relations with Vladimir Putin. There were hopes that negotiations could restart. Then, in 2023,
Russia invades Ukraine. Japan then joins Western countries to impose sanctions on Russia. Moscow responded by cancelling all peace treaty talks. Then, in August 2026, President Vladimir Putin personally visits Iturup, which Japan calls Itorofu. Japan is furious. Why? Because a presidential visit is not merely tourism. Moscow is essentially saying these are our lands and our president can visit anytime he wants. But Japan sees it differently. Imagine 2 people fighting over a house. One of them is already living in the house. Their leader visits, interacts with everyone, and behave as if there is no dispute over that house. That is how Tokyo sees Putin's visit.
These islands are not merely about history. They control the gate to the Pacific Sea. They sit closer to Japan and Russia's military positions in the Far East. So today, the argument is simple. Russia controls the lands. Japan is claiming them. Russia says World War II settled the issue of the border. Japan says these were taken from Japan and must be returned to Japan. And none of them is willing to back down on their claims. This is why Putin's visit to Itorofu is causing stirs. So which of them is right? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.